So yesterday we had discussed about how we will be fetching the locators. How we will be fetching the locators, and where we keep the where we keep the locators in active time locators.xml file, and from there we'll be keeping the locators. From there we'll be fetching the locators by using these two classes, read XML config nodes the underscore UI elements and UI elements XML.config, and it will be converting the locators into web element and providing it to a active time UI element actions class, where we will perform the click operation. If that element is displayed, then we will perform the click operation. So these details we had discussed yesterday, and today we will look into what are the details will be present in resource folder, and what are how we can customize our report, and what is this framework launcher, and what is this jar file .jar file. So I'll open Eclipse. So this was the thing we discussed yesterday. So whatever the locators we write the locators in this way based on the page. For login page we had written some locators, and for time track page we had written some locators, and I added these locators related to task page yesterday. So whatever the locators will be in the task page will be mentioned in task page, and the type of the locator, it's a link, and the name of that task link. For example, here create tasks is a button of present in the tasks page. So I'll open the application. So time track page, we had kept the locators like this: time track page UI elements, and whatever the locators in tasks page, all these locators we had so all these locators we had kept here in tasks page. So these are the things. There is a create task button in task page. That locator we had kept it here, and this is the exact locator. And also yesterday we had discussed what is the advantage of this R symbol. That first it will try with this locator. If it is not there, if it did not find an element with this locator, it will try with another locator. Advantage of this, and how the parsing has been done by using this read XML config file. This will read the XML file, that locator file, and give it to the UI elements XML config, and after it is giving here, and after that we will be splitting based on the total number of locators by using OR operation, and then for that locator to identify what kind of locator, whether that locator is ID, name, CSS, XPath. To identify that, we are splitting by using a splitter, and after that after splitting that, array of 0 will be the type of the locator, and array of 1 is the exact locator. So based on that, if array of 0 is XPath, it will switch to this case, and array of 1 is the exact locator. It will try to identify the locator on the website, and the return type of this is web element. So based on that, if it is ID, name, CSS, it will switch to the corresponding case, and if it did not find any locator it will print this. The locator is not available. We tried with the first locator, and that locator is also not available. And in the second attempt, also in the second type of locator, that locator is also not available. Like that, if the two locators it did not find any locators with the two primary and secondary locators. And the format, if we do any mistake, typing mistake, if we do any typing mistake with this format, this is fine. This is fine, but while writing any typing mistake in this format, it will print this default one, because it could not able to identify based on ID any other type. It will print not a locator, not a valid locator. This statement will be printed. So all these details we had discussed yesterday, and this is for identifying the locator. Okay. Identifying the locator, get object from XML. This is for identifying when this locator, when when this type of locator is identifying. Just a minute. So there is one match. So there is one match. There is only one locator in the UI with logout, but there are locators like this. If you are identifying all the links, there are 48 nodes. There are 48 matching nodes. It means that there are 48 links here on the website, and this is identified. This is a list of elements. This is identified by driver.find elements. So when there is a single node, it is driver.find element. When there is a list of nodes, it is driver.find elements. So find elements. So currently we used driver.find element, but when there are list of elements, if there is a drop down of countries, when you click on a drop down, there are different countries. It is going to show in the drop down. In that drop down, you need to select India. So there are different countries. When you click on drop down, all these countries will be identified as a list of elements. So in one list, there is a concept in collections called list array list. List is an interface and array list is a class. And this list, see, we have declared list here. And the return type of this is list. So in that list, when you click, after you click on the drop down of that country drop down, you will be writing a locator. That locator will identify hundreds of countries, and after by using driver.find elements, and that all the hundreds of country names, it will be saved as a web element in list format. So after it is identifying all the hundreds of countries, it is converting into a list, and then the return type of this get object from XML1 is list. So list of items. So if you pass the locator, pass one locator, it is identified. If I pass this, it will print 48 matching nodes, all the links, all the customer, project, task, deadline, last tracking, all these links, it will be printing. So from this link, I need to identify the customer, or I need to identify a task name like this. So the actual item is you are getting 48 links, and in that 48 link, you need to identify the expected link. The expected link will be this task name. So like these kind of scenarios will be facing. To to overcome that, we had created one more method to identify the list of items. So here we will be using driver.find elements. It will convert the locator like forward slash a double forward slash a is a XPath. So based on that, it will take it to the XPath and convert, and it will identify all the 48 matching nodes, and it will return into web element. So for this list, we need one more method, okay? And that one, yeah. So that is present in UI element XML config. Okay. So the in UI elements XML config, there are two methods. One method is to identify by driver.find element. That is one matching node. If it is multiple matching nodes, it will be a list of items. So to identify that, there is one more item. The return type of that is list of web elements. The first method return type was directly one web element, single element. Okay. So those details are here in UI elements XML config. So we'll move on to the resource folder. Any doubts you can ask me now. Any doubts? Okay. Okay. Well, let us continue with the resource folder. So a resource folder. In resource folder, for our entire framework, what are the details we'll be keeping is one thing is screenshots. There will be one folder. It will where we will be saving all the screenshots. Whenever there is a when there is a failure in our test script, we will be capturing the screenshot, and all these screenshots will be stored in one folder, that is failed screenshots. And we need some jar files to our framework. So we need we need some jar files to our framework. Like when we want to, by default, WebDriver supports Firefox, so we don't need the jar file. But when we want to launch Chrome, IE, other kinds of browsers, we need some exe files. So all these files will be kept here. Like to launch the Chrome driver, we need Chrome driver .exe and IE driver.exe to launch IE driver. So all these details will be creating one folder in our resource. So whatever I said, the failed screenshots will be captured here. So there was a failure. So this screenshot will be captured. Failed screenshot. This is the failed screenshot. At this stage, there is a failure. So like these details, and login also there was, it captured one screenshot after login. It could not able to identify some expected value, some assertion failures. And there is a jar file. We'll be keeping all the jar files here. So currently we are keeping, we can add many jar files. So currently we are keeping Chrome driver.exe and IE driver server.exe. So Chrome driver is needed when you need to launch the Chrome driver. The Chrome driver is needed when you need to launch Chrome browser. So to work on Chrome browser, we need to add Chrome driver. So while launching, you will be providing this path. You will be downloading from seleniumhq.org. the Chrome driver.exe, and then you will be adding that exe file to the project, and from while launching, you will be writing some code, and you will be providing the path to launch this. So just a minute, I'll launch browser. So there is one method we have written. This is a launch browser present in ActiveTime display. So after all, set up launch Chrome browser. So there is a method we had written with launch Chrome browser. So we'll write a method like this. We will be adding system.set properties WebDriver.Chrome driver, and we will be providing the path. There is a exe file, Chrome driver.exe file present in the Zimo jars, and this folder is present in resource folder. So inside the resource folder, I'll play with this. Inside the resource folder, there is a Zimo jars, and inside that there is a Chrome driver.exe, and it will configure to this Chrome driver.exe, and then we will be launching similar to the Firefox driver. So for Firefox driver, we are launching driver is equal to new Firefox driver. So after setting the path for the Chrome driver.exe, we will be launching, we will be creating an instance to the Chrome driver. So you need to launch to work on Chrome driver. The same scenario. Hello. Hello. Any doubts? Yeah.
Gita here. Actually, this is with specific to this ActiveTime page, right?
Yeah.
So in general, when we are doing it for another page or something like, is this the standard way it has to be followed? Like, these things go under this folder like this.
Your voice is breaking. Can you repeat your voice?
Yeah, maybe type the question. Yeah.
Yeah. Can you repeat now? Hello.
Okay. My question was actually this is specific to the ActiveTime web page, right? Like which we ActiveTime page we are doing. So is this the standard way? Like if we are doing for some other page, like say with respect to our application, we are doing something, and is it going to be the structure is going to be the same? Like it has.
I'll tell you. The structure will be the same architecture you need to follow. There is no changes in the architecture, but based on your application, that depends. Like here, we added in utils package. What are the details we need? We added all these files, like getting the locators. All these things will be the same, but there is some you need to work on PDF file. You need to work.
I'm sorry?
You need to download there is one scenario. You need to download the PDF file.
Mm-hmm.
So in that PDF file, there is some security code.
Okay.
You need to read the security code, and then type the security code on the UI, and then submit. After submitting only, you will be able to see some secured information.
Okay.
Okay, like these kind of scenarios. To work on these kind of scenarios, you will be adding one more class here. If your application is having that kind of scenario, you will be adding one more class to read the PDF file. There is a PDF reader. So you'll be downloading that PDF file, and after downloading, you will be saving in resource folder. One more folder you'll create like downloaded files. In that resource folder, in that resource, there will be another subfolder called download folder. In that download folder, whatever the PDF file you downloaded, that PDF file will be saved after downloading. After downloading, you need to open that PDF file, and then in that PDF file there is a security code. You will be reading the security code by using some PDF readers. After reading the PDF security code, and you will be capturing that into one variable and in to our script, and from that variable there is a security code, and that security code you will be typing in the website in your application, and
Okay.
then you are providing clicking on submit. So here the architecture got changed, like you added one more download folder. And for uploading the file, you need to add auto IT. So for auto IT, you will be adding one one more folder related with auto IT. You need to add .au3 file and .exe files related with auto IT. Okay. And
Okay.
to for auto IT, you need to add, and sometimes so there will be in some applications there will be one OTP that they will be sending to the mobile. To the mobile, they will be sending. After you entered your phone number or email ID as a username, the password while logging in only in some applications. While entering, after you enter your username as a email ID or password, the email ID or your phone number, the password will be the OTP they will send to your mobile. You cannot, through automation, you cannot read the OTP from your mobile.
Okay.
That's a complete manual process. After an OTP will be you'll be receiving an OTP to the mobile device, and you will be looking into that manually and typing some 6-digit or 7-digit OTP, 4-digit OTP. But from automation, how we can do is we will be accessing the servers through automation. After you entering the email ID in the username and entering the email ID or phone number as a username edit box in the username edit box. But to fetch the password, you cannot go to the mobile device and fetch the password OTP. But when you enter the username and password, click on submit, an event will be triggered in the backend of the application, and the server will generate one OTP. That might be the length of the OTP, that depends on the application. The server will be generating some log files. In that log file, based on your mapping to the phone number, based on your corresponding to your phone number, an OTP will be generated. And that they will depend on one third-party tool, that is one Cinch or SendGrid. It's a third-party tool. That third-party tool will send an OTP to your mobile. So we'll be getting the OTP from the server itself. We'll access the server machine. We'll get all the logs. We'll write some commands to uh, fetch those logs. And in that log, we'll check for this phone number. Is there? It's a mapping, a corresponding OTP. We'll fetch the OTP from the automation itself that is present in the server logs, and we'll type the OTP. For these kind of scenarios, the architecture will change little bit. Like you'll be adding one more class here in utils package to access the server machine, and also you need some SSH execute files. You'll be writing SSH commands over there. SSH execute files. Those jar files will be adding here, and then after that corresponding to those classes, you will be writing in the utils package. The main architecture will be this only, but a little bit modifications, like one more diagram for accessing the server machine, and you need to verify the email notifications after you submitted. You will be getting an email notification. Thanks, congrats. like those messages you need to verify in e-commerce websites. So these informations will be writing some more classes to read the email verifications also. So like this, the basic architecture will be this only. Okay. Can I continue? Is it? Hello. Can I continue, Gita?
It's breaking, man.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's breaking.
Okay. How is it now? Is everyone can hear me?
Now it's clear.
Okay. Gita, any doubts? Do I need to repeat?
No, Vinod.
So the main architecture will be this only. So what are the extra things you'll be adding uh, in this package? In utils package, you'll be adding some other
Be the
things.
same.
Yeah.
The folder structure is going to be the same. Like, these files. If we are creating some pages, then it goes under the source and com like that. And if we are adding some resources, then it goes into the resources
Resource
folder
folder.
like that, right?
Like that. But the main
So,
basic architecture is same. So this is a real world architecture, I think.
okay, okay, no, thanks.
So so let's continue. I was discussing about yeah. So in resource folder, we had the failed screenshots and in jar file. So this was our discussion. You'll be providing the path. The path also should be dynamic. Okay. It will start from the resource folder and Zumo chart because when I open this exact absolute path, the path is this. See users, desktop. This is the entire complete absolute path. But if I add this path here, like from C drive, Windows folder, desktop, like this, the complete path. If I add this, this path can be accessed from my machine only. If anyone takes the pull from the Git repository, for them this path will be totally different. This path will be totally different. For them, it won't work. So you need to always add a relative path. It should start from directly from your folder, okay, and then it should directly access uh, this .exe file, okay. This. So if you add like this, you are adding the path from here. This will be common for everyone, whatever I had highlighted, and the remaining part might change for each and every system. So it will show that the file not found like exception, like those things. It will be thrown. So in a real environment, you have to add like this. A relative path you need to provide. So this path will be common for everyone. So everyone can be able to trigger this drone driver.exe. So like this. And for IE driver, you'll be adding one more exe file, IE driver server.exe, like this. And if you perform any SSH operation, you'll be adding one more jar file. Any jar file that is needed to your framework will be added into this folder. This one. That is about jar files. And one more resource that is needed for our framework is locators.xml file. So we already know about this locators.xml file. It's an XML file where we'll be keeping all our locators. And there is a logger. I said the log file. The log file will keep track of all the information based on the corresponding date. All the information it will keep from the beginning. So you'll be getting all the information I think this script ran parallel execution. That's what it's showing with you. The script has been was running parallelly. So in one shot at this time only, it was printing this in four browsers. Okay. In four threads, it got printed it at the same moment. And data related to our framework, that is test data, XLSX file. So we'll be keeping like this. So yesterday we had only this sheet. I created another task sheet. Task sheet is for this. Yesterday I had written one script. There is one more flow in tasks page, like create task, similar to the time track. Similar to the time track. Similar to the time track, there is a create button in time track, and similar to that in tasks also we'll be having one create button. The flow is similar. Okay. Whatever the scripts you are writing in tasks page will be written here, and test data will be written. And to name that, instead of keeping this data sheet blank, we will be keeping one default data set, and double hash is the end of the row. Based on this, it will stop its parsing. And this is a.xlsx file. And test settings.xlsx test configuration file. The configuration file you can keep in Excel sheet also. You can keep these configurations in Excel sheet or in one any enum you can keep, or in we can create one properties file, test settings.properties, like that we can keep. So here we are currently keeping. That depends. That depends on different frameworks, whether based on the requirement. If your manager is telling to keep these test settings in one some notepad, you can keep it in notepad. In one XML file also you can keep. You can read the XML file, and that depends on the requirement of your higher management. And so currently we are keeping in notepad. Currently we are keeping in Excel sheet, and here we are keeping execution name. So based on this, it will map. It will parse all the other details in one hash map. In hash map, this is the key and this is the value. If you give this, the entire row will be fetched in hash map like a key value pair. This is if browser name is the key and Chrome is the value, platform is the key, desktop is the value, test URL. This is the URL. And invocation count, I'll tell you about the invocation count. Parallel execution, cross-browser execution, set up post name. This is for other devices. So like this, files we will be taking. So any other files, like another file, you can add one more file for auto IT upload. For uploading, you need some images with some format, like the size should be same, and there will be some restrictions while uploading the image. The resolution should be within this resolution you can upload, and those kind of images, some restricted images, you'll be saving here for uploading, and you'll be providing a path. And for downloading also, after you download, you will create one more folder for downloading. So in resources, finally in resources, whatever the extra things you need, some information you need to your entire framework will be kept in this resource folder. So like this. So any doubts till now?
Vinod, Vinod,
Yeah.
will I be testing UI of the page? Like, will be testing only the functionality, like, or I will be testing the UI thing?
See, through automation you can do API testing, and web services testing also you can do. UI testing, performance testing you can do, and performance or load testing you can do based on the automation. What they will do is, see, there is currently we have this login scenario. And they will be checking the analytics also. So analytics is good. It's a Google Analytics. So they want to know for your in your e-commerce company from the marketing side. They want to know so how many customers has been clicking on this. When in the backend, when you click on this link or tasks link at the backend, an event will be triggered and it will be showing in there is one tool called mix panel. In that mix panel they will be providing after for clicking this they will be providing one click event name. Based on the click event name they will check how many number of clicks has happened on this. So to check this analytics also it will be useful. One is for load testing, one is for API testing, one is for web services, and the other is for UI testing. So like this invocation count I think I showed in datasheet test settings. There is one column called invocation count. Invocation count I had kept it for 1. If I give 200, it will the same scenario will run to.
Your voice is
Can you all hear me now? I think some disturbance is coming. Yeah, I'll check. I'll mute them. Okay. Is it clear? Is my voice is clear?
yes, it's clear now.
Okay. So all these kind of testings you can do from automation, right? And I'll tell you that this scenario time track test, right? So there is one TestNG feature like see in TestNG you can provide groups, right? Groups we can provide. We can provide the data provider name. If the data provider if you would have written the data provider here only, there is no problem. It will directly access. But here we had in our framework we have the data provider in one separate package, active time data providers. Here we had mentioned the data provider. To access the data provider, we need one extra information to TestNG to our script. Data provider class we will provide. Okay, there are some extra things you need to add, and the priorities. I think you know about the priorities. If you give priority 0, this is the first script it will get executed, and if you give priority 1, this is the second script you will get executed. So I was about to tell about the load testing. So there is one more option for your script. You can provide invocation count is equal to 2. If you give invocation count is equal to 2, this script will run 2 times. 2 times the same scenario will run. For each run from the testng.xml, for each trigger, it will run 2 times. So if you run if you run once if you trigger testng.xml, this script will run 2 times. So if you give 200, this script will run 200 times. So here in this script, there is successful login scenario. If I run this script from the backend, it will trigger all the events, all the click operations, click events or typing events will be performed at the backend of this website. And there is one login button. I'll log out from this. I'll log out. So this is the scenario, login scenario. It's logging out. So here I had given 200 times. 200 times. So this scenario will log in 200 times, and in after class there is a logout from portal. So after class will execute. So this scenario will log in and log out for 200 times. So 200 times the user is logging in and logging out, and they are checking whether there is any breaking, whether the website will break like this. So here, after typing the username, after typing the password, when you try to click on login, an event will be triggered at the backend. It's a Google Analytics. Okay. So there is a tool called GA tool and Mix Panel. So you will be coming to know, it will be showing the graph history, like from last week, how many clicks happened on the login button. Clicking on the login button is indirectly the meaning that they had logged in. Okay, the end user has logged in. This is useful in e-commerce websites, and so after you click it logged in. So after login, so like this, and there is one, this invocation count will trigger the script for these many times. If you give 2000 times, with admin and manager, the scenario will log in on purpose. So you had provided this invocation count. There is one more option, thread pool size is equal to 100. With 100 threads, this scenario is running 2000 times. So it will utilize 100 threads. You can mention the threads also from the artist annotation. And also you can provide the timeout 2000 milliseconds. You can provide this timeout with 2000 milliseconds, and I'll remove this information. When you provide this 2000 milliseconds, within 2000 milliseconds, this script should complete its execution. It should not take more than, you are providing a time limit for executing this script. Because sometimes the script might be waiting for longer times for an element for finding an element. So if it is waiting for more than 10 minutes or 15 minutes, the script should not wait for more time. So within 5 minutes, the script should complete its execution. Like that, there is some condition they'll put from your management side. So at the time, you can provide some restrictions to the script. Timeout like this. So this timeout also you can provide from TestNG.xml like this. From TestNG.xml also you can provide the timeout. You can provide the timeout. So this script has to execute within this limited time, like this. If it did not execute within that limited time, it will throw timeout exception. So it will go like the script is taking too much time to execute. Like these things. From the XML also you can provide the option, and from the XML also you can provide the thread code. Whereas directly from the test script also we can provide all these details, like providing the invocation count and thread pool size. Okay, and also timeout restriction also you can add. So today we have discussed about this research product. In test settings, we will keep the invocation count. And coming to this reporting, to capture these failed screenshots, we had created one screenshot on failure class. Okay, we had created, which is extending active time base page. So whatever the class you are writing, it is extending active time base page only. It is at the top level now in our framework. So the base page is at the top level. So whatever the classes we are creating, it is coming under this. Even the utils package is coming under this. Then base page. Okay. So any doubts till now? To capture the screenshot, I'll continue. To capture the screenshot, can you look into this code? Where this is a time track test, which is extending this flow. So this is the normal code where we started. Where we started. Here we are mentioning listeners. Listeners. There are two types of listeners. One is action listener and event listeners. Action listeners are nothing but you perform an operation like clicking at the back end, it will trigger one event. That is action listener. Event listeners are those which will monitor our entire class. In this class, we have all these things: at test, at before method, at after method. We will keep on monitoring these listeners, and in that listener, we had provided the complete class names. Okay, screenshot.class. In .class, we will be providing com.aragon.commonutils dot screenshot dot failure. This class file you will be mentioning here as a to the listener. Okay, and going at the top level, there is a listener view extended to the active time base page. This is the I said just now. I said active time base page is at the top level, but to this class we are adding one listener. Test listener adapter. Test listener adapter. What is this test listener adapter? It will listen to your test script. You can there is another listener for I. This is I test listener. There is another listener which is suit listener that will listen for your entire suit. What is the status of your suit? This is for test script status. So we had there is one overridden methods on test success, what it has to do, on test failure, what it has to do, on test script, what it has to do. These are the methods. On test failed but within success percentage, I test method, on start, on finish. All these methods are present in test listener. So this has been extended. This complete information where we had extended because active time base page is at the top level. To this top class, we are adding one more super class, that is test listener. Test listener adapter. We are adding in that adapter there are different overridden methods. That overridden methods contains on test start, on test finish, on test success, on test failure. All these details are present. This script will be running now. This script where we have provided the listener with one screenshot on test failure. This will trigger this class. It will take the screenshot. It will take the screenshot and keep it in one folder called failed screenshots. Okay. In your company, in real world, they can ask you for only for to capture the failed screenshots, and also in some e-commerce companies they can ask you for each and every page change. They'll tell you to take the screenshot based on today's date and time. So they will create one more folder that contains, if the requirement is like this, you will create one more folder with screenshots, regular screenshots. At that time, after you launch the browser, you take the screenshot. After you type the username, after you perform any event from your side, from automation side, you will be capturing the screenshot. After you enter the username, you take the screenshot. After you type the password, it will take the screenshot. After you click on the login button, it will take the screenshot. After you navigated to this page, time track page, you will be capturing one screenshot. And after you click on this login button, you will be capturing one screenshot. And after you logged out successfully, you'll be capturing screenshot. So each and every step, you'll be capturing the screenshot. So for this kind of taking screenshots on each and every step, so it's assumed that when you perform click of the operation, it is assumed that there is some change in the application, change in the flow. Like you entered the username, you want to know that what is the username you entered, and you entered the password. You want to know that whether you entered the password. So when after you click, the page got changed to tracking page. So you need to take the screenshot. You need to check whether after you click on login, the page has been navigated to this landing page or not, or tracking page. So all these details, sometimes in some companies the developer needs all this information. So while through automation they will be able to capture, and you'll take all the screenshots and store it in another folder, and you'll be sharing that folder to the developer. So he wants to know. So that depends on the requirements. The framework will be completely dynamic. It will keep on changing based on the requirements we get from the company. So here, this is the listener. Here you can see that there is one reporter part. You can customize your report. There is one Japarian listener. We have it. This implements, this extends active time based page. Everything extends active time based page. And there is an interface, I test listener. Just now I showed on test to start all these things. So this is the, so just a minute. So there is one class called active time reporter. This will generate the report. So by default, TestNG will provide emailable report that is present in test output folder, emailable report, and you can see this report, and also you can see the report in index.html. In this index.xml also you are able to see the report, index.html. So in this is, I'm opening index.html. You can see the results. You will get all the details here. So I think we need to not run any script. After you run, you'll get the report from index.html and emailable report. And also we are generating based on the requirements. We are generating PDF reports also. Soup.pdf. So to generate Just a minute. I'll open that. So this is the folder part and screenshots. If they need the complete screenshots based on the date and time, you will be taking the screenshots. Like this, you can enter username complete. While selecting also, it will take the screenshot like this one. It's a PDF file. It's not opening. It's not opening because it's. So a PDF file will be generated. I'll show you these things later. A PDF file will be generated, and these things to generate all these PDF files is present with this Jupyter listener. Okay. So there is one class called send report to email. Send report to email. There is one class called send report to email. So this is sending the report. So after your suit run execution, test suit run execution. So if your suit contains around 500 scenarios, that might take 3 hours or 4 hours to execute. So after you start your suit run, you cannot wait in front of the system for 3-4 hours and see the execution results, final results. So after you can write send PDF report to by Gmail. You can write this code so that and add it to your test script in after suit method. From your script in after suit, if you call this after completing execution, send PDF report by email. So in after suit, if you call this in after suit, if you call this email final report that is present in send report to email, there is a method in this send PDF report by Gmail. Okay. This is a public static method. So all this after you run the suit, there will be a PDF file that is generated. This will be sent to the Gmail. So here, this is the email ID from email ID and the credential, and to email ID is this subject line. It should print in the Gmail. Subject line should be test automation result, and the body. Please find the attachment of the test automation suit run report. You will be taking the SMTP. This protocol is SMTP. Gmail is another. For Outlook is IMAP. So this is the port number you are giving. The credentials you will be passing. This is the credential. The same credential you will be passing, and the host is you will be providing Gmail smtp.gmail.com. From account number, from email ID is this. The password is this, and the port number 587 is the port number for Gmail. And authentication is true. And then it will create an instance. It will create a session, and MIME, this is needed for attaching that HTML report. MIME is multimedia thing for attaching the report .pdf file, and then it will set from account number, and it will add the recipients. It will add the recipients. The recipients are these. These are the recipients. These are the recipients, and please find the attached report file. This will be the message body. Okay. And then it will create an instance, and then it will add that message body, and then this is the file name suite.pdf, and it will create an instance for that file data source, and it will set the file name, and it will set the add body also, and then it will send the report, sending the message. At this line, it will connect to the host. It will connect to the host from account number and the password, and then it will send the message. So once after this step gets executed, and after that after once at this step of execution, it will be sending the report to all the email IDs. So currently two email ID is, there is only one email ID. So after that it will close the transport operation, and then for your reference, it will print on the console send email ID email to, like this, two email IDs it will be printed. So in the real world, two account numbers, instead of providing two account numbers, you will be providing, this will be the this is the example I showed for only one email ID. In real world, you will be creating one array, string high alert. High alert will contain the email IDs of your manager, VP, CTO, Chief Technical Officer, CTO, and with your team. So like this. So if you pass this two account number, two email ID as high alert, after executing the report will be sent to the complete from the top management to your team. If it is medium alert, we will be keeping an array like this. If it is a medium alert, if it is a medium alert, your CTO is not needed. VP is also not needed. Even the manager is needed. So like this setup you will be doing, and the other one is low alert. Low alert, even your manager is not needed. So like these three arrays you will be creating. These are the email IDs of manager, VP, CTO, like that. Your team one group, and you are sending to one group. That's it. So instead of so while executing, you will provide low alert normally. Here you will be keeping the low alert. So after your suit gets completed, it will send to your team only. After, if you provide medium alert, if there is some release going on, at that time you will be providing high alerts or medium alerts. That depends. And normally you will be keeping the low alert, and when you are running, then during the release times you will be keeping medium alert or high alert. So once you run this suit, it will generate a PDF file, and final report will be sent to your email ID. You no need to wait for 5-6 hours to see that report in front of the system. This is one major advantage, and this email can be configured to the Jenkins also. So in Jenkins also there is one option for configuring the email ID. But if your framework has been integrated with Jenkins, it's a continuous integration tool, CI tool. You can directly provide the email configurations to the Jenkins itself. Any doubts till here? Any doubts till here? So send report to email. You'll be writing a separate class which is present in the reporter. All these kind of whatever the code that is present in this reporter is for reporting only, related with reporting. So you can customize the reports however the requirement is. So you can, instead of providing here suite.pdf, you can provide emailable report. Emailable report.html. Report.html. This will be naming the emailable report instead of the HTML. Okay, it's not opening. Just a minute, I'll try. Just a minute, I'm trying to open that video because some information is there. It's not opening. I'll show this one, I think. It's not opening. I'll show it in tomorrow's class. Okay. So this is the one, and the other part left out is framework launcher. So according to this architecture, you can start your test script from TestNG.xml directly by right click on the class. You can start. You can start, and from pom.xml also you can start, and from framework launcher. There is one class called framework launcher. From here also you can start the script. Okay. So this is the framework launcher, and I'll show you the class. The framework launcher is present in active time base page. So this is the framework launcher. It's a main class for our entire project. This is a main class we are declaring. So this contains some calendar information for printing. So in test output folder, for each run, each run we can print one emailable report. So this is based on the date and time. For each run, we are printing, and we are for each run by default. Whenever you run one script, by default TestNG will generate a report, and that report will be saved in one folder in test output folder. This is we created. It's a customized for reporting. So whenever you execute this our framework, it will generate a report by default, and this report will be stored in one folder based on some timestamp. So like this, and that code is here in framework launcher. we are giving, and there is some iteration for loop iteration, and you will be getting the suit run started, that iteration. If it is first time execution, it will print 1 because I is starting from 1. And adapter listeners, so here can you see suits.add testng.xml. So this suits.add testng.xml, this is triggering this testng.xml. So when you run this main class, it's indirectly triggering testng.xml. So here the for loop is like this. So if I give 10 times, it is iterating the complete suit. It triggers the testng.xml 10 times. So whatever the classes you want to trigger, there are 2 tests now. One is with time track test, another with a time track test. Okay, these 2 scenarios. This is not major. This scenario, this complete class is triggered 10 times from TestNG.xml. So the framework launcher is launching. When you run that class, it will launch TestNG.xml. And there is a iteration in that. If you provide 100 times, it will trigger TestNG.xml. So this iteration, I gave 10 times it will trigger TestNG.xml. Okay, so this is how currently I'll give like this. So the framework launcher will launch the TestNG.xml. Okay, and also it contains the code for taking the copying. What exactly it is doing is copying the reports into this. What exactly it is doing, by default, TestNG will generate emailable report, and it is taking the copy. It is copying like this. It is copying and putting in this folder. It copied and is taking the emailable report and saving it in one folder with some date format. That is the one. And I think it's 8:30. So that is the functionality of framework. And there is one jar file you can create for your entire project. So I think yesterday, so like this jar file. So FW, this is an executable jar file. You can create an executable jar file. You can create. Tomorrow I'll show you the steps of how to create this executable jar file. Okay. So in this folder, launch by jar, there is a folder name launch by jar, and in this you have to provide the XML locator file. This is by default it will generate. Test data sheet you need to provide. TestNG.xml you need to provide, and one jar file that you will be generating a jar file from the Eclipse, from your Eclipse. Okay, and from command prompt, you will be entering some commands. So the one who is not having the Eclipse, or they no need to install anything, Eclipse, Maven, or any other thing. Nothing is needed. Just from the command prompt, you should have the precondition to run from the command prompt should be JDK installed. Only if the system has been installed with JDK, we can give from here in command prompt java.jar. The file name is giving file name.jar. The entire code will run. It will launch the browsers. It will run our script, and after running, it will generate one test output folder. In that test output folder, you will get some results. all these results, like available reports, all these things you will get. And after you are running this jar file, and one shoot file, it will generate. It's a PDF, not opening completely. I'll show these test results from the PDF file. In the PDF file, there will be one link. If you click on the link, it will open the screenshot. Like that option is there. Okay. So this is the advantage of jar file. Jar file to the developers during the release times, you will generate a jar file from the Eclipse, and you won't share the entire code to the developer. Entire framework code you won't share, and for the developers, no need to install the Eclipse, no need to install JDK. Oh no, sorry, JDK should be installed. No need to have the Eclipse. No need to install Maven, Jenkins, nothing, and just provide this jar file and tell the developer to execute this command java -jar filename.jar, and it will launch the browser in the system, and final results will be generated in the same folder. The final results will be generated. A test output folder and a source PDF file folder will be generated. A report will be generated in the same folder, and you can be able to see the report. So anyone who is having JDK can run this code, our framework code, and get the results. No need to install any precondition tools needed. That is the main advantage of converting into jar file. Okay. Because if some developer is not having, if he is not a Java developer, you can share this jar file and tell him to execute this command. You will come to know the entire result of these changes. So tomorrow I'll show how to convert this large jar file. But for the converting a jar file, main. Hello. Hello.
We can hear you. Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. Okay.
Can you share the screen, Vinod?
Yeah, just a minute. Can you people see my screen? So that is the main advantage of this jar file. You just convert our project. Just right click on the project, export, and go to Java. Click on runnable jar file. Just generate a jar file for our entire project, and you will get a jar file. And just share this jar file to the developer and tell the developer to run from the command prompt, and without any installations, a minimum requirement, telling that minimum requirement is JDK 1.7 and above, and is able to launch the browser with our URL, and is able to execute all the scenarios from his machine. And wherever the folder he has kept the jar file, in that folder the test output folder is generated, and also a PDF file, a report for PDF file is also generated, and to get the results, and all these details are saved in this folder. Okay. So tomorrow I'll be discussing about this entire framework launcher, how it is triggering this TestNG.xml, and also this parallel execution. Parallel execution is for saving the time. If your suit run, I said, like if you have 500 test scenarios, it is taking around 4 to 5 hours to run. You can run the scenarios parallelly and reduce the execution time to 2.5 hours. If you are for sequential execution, if it is taking 5 hours, but for parallel execution, you can reduce it to 2 hours. Or if you are running the parallel execution on multiple threads, more number of threads, your execution time will be reduced. by using this parallel execution. And tomorrow I'll be discussing about this parallel execution and cross-browser execution. Is you need to launch the scenario, the script on different browsers like IE, Chrome, Safari, Firefox. All these four browsers you need to test the same flow. At that time, this will be useful. So that is a cross-browser execution. Tomorrow I'll be telling, and you need to add some dependencies in form.xml to get these uh, report, sending the report and jar files. Jar files needed need uh, jar files needed for WebDriver, all these things, TestNG, all these things, and to call these listeners also we'll be adding. So those things we'll be adding in the dependency files. Those information I'll be telling tomorrow. And this jar file will execute the jar file. So, so this is how. Any doubts from your side? Any doubts? Do I need to repeat anything? Can we start now? It's I think it's 8:30. Yeah, Murli, can I stop this session?
Yes, Vinod.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks everyone.
Thanks.
If you have any doubts, I'll repeat. Okay. These are the details. It's important actually while implementing the framework and for clearing the interviews also. Okay.
Thanks. Vinod, can you just have the recording and then I'll just come and collect it by in office.
Okay. Okay. Fine. I'll stop
Yeah.
sharing my screen and
Sure.
I'll end the session. Thanks. Thank you guys. Thanks a lot. Bye.
Thanks. Thanks, Vinod. Thank you. Bye.